Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're going to be taking a first look at a new DLC out for Field of Glory Kingdoms. That is the Grand Strategy Field of Glory game. You may be familiar with Field of Glory 2, which we played on the channel a fair bit, and that is a sort of almost like board game-esque war game with like a tabletop vibe where you play through battles in the Rise of Rome period in turn-based strategy. This game is a grand strategy game, so you raise things up to sort of the the strategic map, if you will, and you try and expand your kingdoms and grow and increase your power and all the things you do in a grand strategy game during the medieval period. So there's Field of Glory Empires, which was sort of the Roman Republic era, and there's Field of Glory Kingdoms, which is the Middle Ages. And they just recently released a DLC called Rajas and Tribes, which expands the map into India and then also expands the map further into Africa as well. And so that's what we're going to be looking at here today. Now, I will say this is a sponsored video, so thanks to the folks at Slytherin for that. I've played a little bit of Kingdoms sort of outside of the channel. I don't think we've actually looked at Kingdoms on the channel yet. So it's kind of a first look for me for both the base game and also the DLC, which is the first DLC for Field of Glory Kingdoms to have come out. So let's go ahead and jump in here. You can see the DLC campaigns. There's two of them. There is, the base campaigns of El Cid, which is 1087 to 1097. There's a tutorial grand campaign, which is 1054 to 1274. So again, sort of Middle Ages period. But like, I don't know if that classifies as high Middle Ages. I'm not really sure. But basically, it's like start of the Crusades to, I don't know, 12 something. Pre-Renaissance stuff, I believe. And then there's Manzikert, which is sort of that famous famous Byzantium defeat, which sort of signaled the end of Byzantium's reign as sort of the superpower of the Middle East. They would have a revival, but that's like one of the big sort of turning points for the Byzantine Empire. And you've got Gulfs and Gibelines. This is I'm sorry if the pronunciation. It's only a 32 turn game, which looks at, I guess, Italy. But we're going to do the expanded campaign here, and we're going to do the grand campaign. So 440 turns, almost over 200 years of history. And we'll just do the standard balance difficulty, because I'm not going to pretend to be great. I don't know all the ins and outs of this stuff. It's just a first look. I've enjoyed Field of Glory in the past. Played a little bit of Empires, which is kind of like what this is, the predecessor, the grand strategy version of it. Yeah. Let's go ahead and jump in here. Oh, one other thing, which I believe is still true for Field of Glory Kingdoms, that was true of Empires, is like in theory when you fight tactical battles, you can export them to Field of Glory 2. Now, is that something a lot of people are going to do? Probably not. Definitely slows the pace of the game down quite a bit to do that, because you go from having a strategic game and then pulling out and having a tactical game. But it is a pretty cool, integration with Field of Glory 2, where you can take the battles on this game and then pull them into another game and fight them out in sort of detail, as opposed to, what you usually see in these grand strategy games where things are kind of abstracted out. Now you can see here, this is the map, obviously, of the world. Byzantium, close to its sort of middle-age peak here, pre-Manzikert. You've also got a wide variety of different kingdoms and tribes. You've got, it looks like the Kingdom of Hungary. You've got the Holy Roman Empire and kind of the chaos in there. You've got France, England, Spain, obviously. But then you can see if we scroll the map down here, this is where it expands the map south, further into the reaches of Africa, and then also expands it east at the far extreme into portions of India. So, given this is for the DLC, why don't we go ahead and play in India and take a look what we want to do here. So, who do we want to play as? We could play as Gujarat. They have no treaties. They're a medieval Hindu kingdom in western India, ruled by two Rajput dynasties. for a period of nearly 4 centuries until ultimately it was conquered by the Delhi Sultanate in 1298, so after the period of this game. Later, it regained independence as a Muslim sultanate in 1394. So this would kind of be present-day Pakistan, I believe, right along here. Iran would be here. Pakistan, like kind of like right where Pakistan ends. You've got a population of 13, so you've got, you're more populated than all of the other kingdoms around you, so that's going to be an advantage. You've got 64 food, which I think kind of makes you more powerful food-wise than anybody else around you, too. You've got different... There's more than one province here, so... I don't know. Seems like a decent thing here. You can play up to 16 players, I believe, multiplayer. Obviously, we're just playing this solo right now. Okay. So our modifiers for this kingdom: Indian culture, faction modifier, population unrest value for different religions is decreased by 2. Bonus 20 XP when a unit is created. Apply on large beasts. Infrastructure bonus 5%. Eastern expansion. This nation can send contingents of troops eastward via the regional decisions. Send troops to eastern India in an effort to conquer new areas in the Indian subcontinent. Despite the resulting losses, this will grant the kingdom a significant increase in power. So I guess you can expand east of where this map ends, I guess. Sort of simulated off-map stuff. Can do great trades. Allow for certain nations to do extra legacy through their commerce of exotic goods. And can launch war campaigns. War campaigns allow certain nations to earn extra legacy through warring and raiding. Okay. So we'll do that. We'll play as them. And then you've got a nice little write-up. We're not going to read through all that on here, but quite a bit of detail put into each individual kingdom that you can read about in the game as it is setting the AI up here, getting ready here. Okay. Great traders and war campaigns. Great traders are an option to tribal and nomadic nations, allowing them to earn legacy points through trade of specific resources. To benefit from this, nations must own buildings in the merchants category, which trade resources such as furs, spices, salt, silk, etc. Obviously, with this sort of expansion going further east into India, you've kind of got the Silk Road, if you will. These merchants generate legacy points and gold if the resource is present in the region. Traders, exclusive to tribal and nomadic nations, produce 2 units of the same resource without taking a building slot. However, they require an impediment, a natural obstacle, to be placed. Once built, they remain, even if the impediment is later removed. The Great Trader panel is accessible from the nation. I don't think we're going to a nomadic kingdom, though, so that's not super relevant for us. War campaigns are a powerful tool for tribal and nomadic nations, allowing them to earn legacy points by conquering target regions. A lot of these mechanics are new for this particular DLC. If your nation is eligible, a button featuring a scimitar crossed with a sword will appear in the nation panel. Select 1 to 4 non-aligned regions as objectives. All war goals must be set before the campaign begins. Each campaign lasts up to 16 turns, divided into 4 phases of 4 turns. The faster you conquer, the more legacy points you earn. At the end of each phase, unfulfilled war goals lose value. A campaign that is too ambitious may fail to generate rewards, while a modest campaign forces you to wait 16 turns before launching another. Declaring 4 war goals the maximum will make neighboring nations suspicious, worsening diplomatic relations. However, if all objectives are achieved, a special bonus is awarded. To get detailed rules about these 2 features, go to the corresponding panel and click on the button representing the question marks. Okay. Alright, so being one of the top ranked nations in great trades, Volga Bulgars has received a special reward. Okay. Alright, so we zoom out here. This is our kingdom. You can see some of the key stats here. Got peasants here, food storage, freemen. Do we have a military? We do. Combat power 25, food usage 2, move speed 5, Indian close fighters, archers, and light javelin men. Okay. We have metals and manpower. You can see up here we have 250 money. We have a negative income of 3, so we've got a little bit of a deficit. Generating 26 manpower per turn. We've got 50 right now total. Diplomacy. No treaties, no requests. Okay. All right. And do we have any regional decisions? We can declare a war goal. Recruit local units. Okay. Planned authority is going up by 2. Legacy going up by 2. Metal production is at 4. Okay. Can we build some more? Like, I could use some additional soldiers, I think, for those units. I don't know how much money some of these are going to cost, but I'm going to increase the number of close fighters we have. We're going to add some cavalry, and hopefully that will set us up for some success here. But we also have loyalty of 37, can make a coup while at court. So he's not very loyal. Okay. We got the great trades option here too. Okay. Alright, so we're building those units. I don't know that we need to do anything immediately. Let's build those units up before we go a-conquering. See what they do to our budget too before I look too much into fixing any economic issues. Okay. Processing that first turn. It's the fair season. All right. All the AI is running. It is interesting that it pulls you out to this screen here, as you can kind of see these items here. Under the wish of rule, under the wise rule of Jodart is progressing. Progress tier reached. Okay. Civilization level 1. Progressing top tier progress token 0. 23% chance to receive a progress token. Legacy falling behind. The Apicids are leading. Dempsey's size is 3 of a potential 12, so we can gain more territory without sort of overstretching ourselves. Okay. No domestic spy network. 3 regions, 1 domain. No peers of the realm. Okay. Manpower is overflowing. Well, that's good. What do we got over here? Declare a war goal. This cost will be deducted once it triggers. Okay. What is this? New regional decision, sneak attack. Okay. But I want to wait. Okay. Huh. We saw an invasion of maybe some raiders or whatever. Okay. All right. Well, I want to finish building those things I've just built up. I do have a -5 gold now. Since we're building those additional... Alright, let's wait till do anything until the army's built up. Because really I just want to go a conquering. I want to go map painting. And we'll see how we can do with that here shortly. But we are building a few buildings here. Hopefully to better situate our kingdom. I did just get an alert saying go to war for the first time. So I don't know if an AI country perhaps has gone to war with us. And we'll have to see how that plays out. We should get our first of our 3 soldiers we're building back this turn. So we'll see if that's something that, you know, I thought I picked the largest, most powerful kingdom in our region, but we'll see. The Lateri has launched a war campaign against the Chaka. The armies of Gujarat are poised to strike the core regions of Sumaras to subjugate the opposing nations. Some nations can declare war campaigns. Okay. So I think we just built... Did we get this new unit here? Yeah, we did. We've got the Superior Indian Lancers. So we got 1. And these guys only have a combat power of 15. We have a combat power of 37. So I'm feeling pretty good about our chances here. Offensive rating's not very good for us. His offense rating is I don't know. They're better than us on offense. We're better on defense. But let's go ahead and see if we can target that army here. Let's just immediately end the turn and see what happens here. We are building, I think it was a lumber mill and a market or something else in one of our other towns. Okay. So apparently the Somarads must have gotten some reinforcements. Their combat power is actually up to 30 now. Only a slight advantage for us. Let's go ahead and view the battle. So we can watch the battle here. We're not actually playing it. We're just watching it. So we've got the ranged phase. These are Superior Indian Lancers, so we're down here. Okay. Stalemate. And again, this is like where right now you can see this looks a little similar to Field of Glory 2. Alright, they're going to flank us and crush our cavalry there. At least our cavalry there overran their infantry in the center. Samora has won the battle. Fuck. They really crushed our troops all along the line. Our cavalry were the only ones who... did okay. So we lost light javelin men, archer... We lost 2 archer unit and light javelin men. Our close fighters and our lancers made it out. They lost light javelin men, but they have a lot more of them. And yeah, good thing we're already building some new units. Another cavalry unit soon, but you can see our fighting strength is greatly reduced now. Looks like it's down to 6. So we'll have to wait one more turn. I think we'll get a new cavalry unit there, but we've got a lot of stuff to rebuild. Maybe the only saving grace would be like if the troops got slaughtered and all those units got destroyed, maybe, just maybe, the economic situation gets better. You can't have an expensive military bill if you don't have a military, right? It doesn't seem to make a difference. Here's our troops up here. Okay. I don't see... Is this what we just fought? Yeah, this is that one. It's still down there. Alright, we already saw this battle. Okay, something about the Cumans. They're nowhere near us. I don't need to... Alright, we're going to try and recruit some local units. Maybe see like any militia or whatnot come up. Let's wait till we build more of those troops here. I think we'll get another cavalry unit this turn. We'll see if the enemy comes at us at all. We should have waited till we had built more of our troops up. Cavalry seemed very powerful, though. Alright, so their combat power, at least on this map, is listed as 15. And again, we're doing like a very zoomed-in view of kingdoms, like on a somewhat small, simple kingdom. So we're not really looking at anything overly complex yet at the moment. But I think it's an interesting sort of look at some of these conflicts in the Indian subcontinent that we're dealing with. Okay. See different scores and legacy points. Legacy points are kind of how you score the game. Any more battles? Can we merge these two armies? I prefer to merge these guys. Yep. There we go. Alright, can we merge these spearmen? We've got a whole bunch of these guys. Are these the local troops, the levies that we just raised? It would appear to be. Alright, let's go assault these guys. Those new levies with the new superior horsemen. Still waiting on some of that heavy infantry to finish up, but we got a progress token. Okay. Really, we're unable to properly pay our army? We should have sufficient. I mean, we got... Oh shoot, did all of our money go away? Where'd that come from? Was it the local levies that I raised? Is that the issue? Huh. Well, maybe once those levies all die in this upcoming battle, they'll not be so pissed. But yeah, I suppose raising those local levies was expensive, and I immediately bankrupted my side here. Alright, we got a little battle over here. I assume this is a pretty simple victory. Yep. Overran the enemy without loss, pretty much. Conquered their territory. So you can see that sort of lines across the map indicates territory we took from the enemy. We do want to take these two provinces to the south from the Somaras. Those are our sort of war goals, if you will. So we'll see if we can take them in the next turn. I'm neglecting domestic affairs a little bit. One, because the kingdom's so small. Two, because I would really like to expand it before we worry too much about domestic. Although the fact that our income is so bad might be a problem. Okay, new son being born. Money bankrupt, lost 101% in 5 turns. Well, looks like we've got a positive income now. I think some of those levies maybe went home, or what happened? Regional commerce got a little bit better. Population taxation got a little bit better. Intrinsic production didn't change. Court expense dropped. Pillage and raids, the three income we got there. Okay. Someone is subverting the populace. Alright. Let's see. I would really like to crush that other enemy formation here. And, avenge our defeat. I wonder if there'll be like a siege or something like that once we take these other... 'cause I assume these guys have a castle, but... Alright, so we should have a slight advantage in terms of combat power. Let's view the battle. We got the 2 cavalry units, which hopefully will overrun the enemy. They do have horse archers. And then we've got the 2 close in, and we've got more javelins. So let's see how this thing plays out. Ranged phase, everybody's fresh. They charge my close infantry, overrun them. I charge whatever that was and overrun them. Yeah, I think this looks good. Looks like we're convincingly crushing the enemy here. And again, what I will say is that, like, if you were to do the Field of Glory 2 integration, the battles are much more detailed and sort of, I don't know, just to say they're much more detailed. So we won the battle. We crushed most of their troops. Bedouin and horse archers made it out. We did lose our close fighters unit, but our levies and light javelin men doing okay, and then the cavalry were big in that victory. Okay. So we just instantly take this region, which is kind of nice. We don't have like a siege or anything to worry about. And then I think we just move forward and try and take the next one and see what happens. We might have some unrest up there in the north. There's like a little red cross sword icon. We'll have to take a look and see what that means. But 74, I think we're moved up a little bit. Weren't we 77 or 79 a little while ago? It says we're a stable kingdom. I'm anything but we'll see. Alright, so plus 19 income, so the money is flowing. 6 from raids this next turn, so war is profitable. Okay. Alright, I'm just going to keep prosecuting this war. As long as we got the profitability thing here, we'll worry about the other stuff later. I don't see any reason to negotiate a peace at the moment. We should get more troops also at the end of this turn. We should get some close infantry units. Oh, wow. 131 combat power. That is not going to be good. We're going to get wrecked. They must have raised levies. So, yeah. This ain't going to be good. Dead. 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 Hey, those boys survived. Oh no. Yeah. Well, we lost that fight. Our army was basically wiped out. I wonder if they, like, bankrupted themselves raising all these troops. Should we go for a negotiated settlement? I don't know if we can yet. We've still got the claim out there, and I don't think it's been 4 years, but... It looks like there's a river. That could be a good boundary to settle on. Okay. Let's see... Alright. Are we still building those troops over here? Not really. This unit's too costly for our remaining resources. Okay. I think the building is just based on kingdom, not actually... These are all going to be ready next turn. Interesting. Go join the cavalry over here. Population is dropping a bit. Income's at negative 52, although we have a plus 41 this turn. Let's see how much the troops grow after one turn. Maybe we can continue the offensive here with all these new fresh infantry that we're just raising. As long as the enemy doesn't move in and retake the territory we took from them. They seem content to leave things where they are now. And we'll also take a look at the peace here in a minute and see if it makes sense to try and get a peace deal. We did take two provinces from the enemy, about half their territory. So maybe they don't want to fight anymore. One can hope, right? Okay. Let's see. So the income is still positive. Let's move this army over here. The 50 combat power will merge with the 11 here. Still won't be enough if they raise levies like they did before. Looks like we built those buildings we were working on. Oh, actually no. Crude smelter's still over here. 12 more turns. Okay. Goats are a good resource to have. All right. Alright. Let's get the let's end the turn, have those armies merge, and then we will see if it makes sense to go for another assault. And again, that's a much faster process than if we were playing Field of Glory 2, where we'd fight that battle out, you know, over 20 or 30 turns with a lot of individual units. So again, kind of a different experience there. Are they fighting two countries? Looks like they just lost part of their province to whatever the looks of modern day Iran would be. Okay. Which I'm frankly fine. If the AI wants to weaken the enemy for me, that's great. Makes it easier on me. As long as I'm able to get all the provinces I want to get, right? Like, take everything I don't care about and wreck them. Then let me come in and sweep in and take the unwrecked provinces, if you will. I'm tempted to try the Field of Glory 2 plugin. I do have Field of Glory 2. Probably won't do that today, but... Okay. Our combat power is 61. The enemy's is less. Maybe with the fighting up north, they're weaker too. I don't want to risk waiting until whatever that power is to the north takes all the territory. I'm going to go in and try and take it now. They still have way more combat power, huh? Alright. Let's watch ourselves get wrecked again. I don't think I made any javelin. Oh my god, they got war elephants. And that troop of mine didn't immediately die. Okay. Center held firm. Enemy came in on the flank, and that didn't look good for us there. So that flank unit got wrecked. So by the looks of it, our flanks are crushed. The infantry in the center survive, but the enemy wins the battle. We don't destroy anything, which I was hoping to at least wean them down a little bit. But we don't destroy anything. And we have to pull back. Okay. I mean, I think I misread their combat power, because now that I can see, that says 70. It's not great. Not great at all. Wait for the turn to process, and then let's see. We're an ascending kingdom. Interesting. Well, we did take 2 new provinces, although apparently our rank in terms of legacy points has declined a bit. But apparently we're a stable or ascending kingdom. Under the rule of Lalatia, we're running efficiently and without any corruption. It's now we're known as the Ascending Kingdom. Cool. Can I... Do we go to diplomacy? Ouch. He's insulting my army? 23% chance they'll accept. Sure. Let's just propose peace. They do have a war score of 16. Or we have a war score of 16. Curious if they'll want to try and conquer back their territory or be content to sit back having lost a few provinces to us. Okay. Okay, we're still waiting. Okay. All right. Someone else is waging war against us, huh? All right, well, that's to our south. Okay. So now we got a war on each front. We'll see how that plays out. Not a lot of changes to the strategic map so far, but this is just our own very zoomed in view of Field of Glory Kingdoms in India, which is one of the new regions in the game. That being said, we've been going for over 40 minutes, and this seems like as logical a place as any to wrap this up. I hope you guys did enjoy this look at Field of Glory Kingdoms. I know it's kind of a basic look. I think we'll play it a little bit more. This is a sponsored video. I would like to dig into the game in more detail. I really just wanted to try and conquer some territory, and we did manage to do that a little bit, but kept getting my armies crushed. I'd like to dig into more of the mechanics and a little bit more in this game. So again, we'll do another episode here, but let me know your thoughts below. Let me know if you want to see more of this. And yeah, this is an interesting game that, it can dig deeper. It has a lot of depth to it if you want to dig that deep. But I think also the way that we played, you can see that you don't have to play it quite that deep to be able to progress through things. But that's going to do it for today's episode. Until next time, this is the Historical Gamer saying once again, thank you very much for watching. And until next time, I'm out. Bye-bye.